Hey, welcome to the tech capital of the world. My name is Bobby Davis, the CEO and founder of Coder Foundry. And Kevin, it's another beautiful day after a week off from
Yeah,
live shows.
we're back. We're back. We
We're
had some
back.
we had some other videos last week, so it was all right.
Yeah.
Not too
Yeah.
bad. We were
It's
still
not
here in
bad.
spirit, even if we weren't here
Yep.
live. So that's okay. It's not so bad.
It's a lot of stuff going on. It's kind of interesting what's going on in the tech world. And I thought we could talk about a couple of those things.
Yeah,
But we got some big news first, though. We're going to
we
give
do.
away some couple of scholarships.
Yeah, definitely. So we had a former student who went through the self-paced course and got so much value out of it and wanted to give something back and sponsor a couple of students to go through it, but they want to remain anonymous. So that's
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah. So we're doing it.
But they wanted to sponsor a couple of students through, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to put a
So
couple of scholarships up there.
two people will get a 1-year access to the self-paced course. That's, about, if you buy it in advance, it's $550 or something like that a year. If you did it,
Yep.
yeah, $594. And if you bought it monthly, it'd be $1,200. So it's a pretty good deal. And then any new content that comes out on the course over that year, you'll get that too. So whatever's there today and whatever's there tomorrow, and then you can re-up if you want to, but you can get it 1 year for free. So it's pretty more than long enough time, I think, to launch yourself into a coding career. So
Right.
I think it's a great deal. And thanks to our anonymous benefactor who decided to help someone out because they helped him out.
Yeah,
So that's
definitely
awesome. So people give them back.
it's very cool. It's just the best. I've been working with this person who's super nice and it's been really, really easy to work with this. So yeah, it's been great. It's super good. So yeah, if you want to apply, you can go to. Let me pull up the screen. Yeah, where am I? Coderfoundry.com/scholarship. That link is in the description below too, so you can go there, fill out this form. We will leave this open for a week. So we'll close this down probably next Tuesday. So we'll talk about this today, Thursday, and then probably next Tuesday, and then we'll close it down probably at the end of the day next Tuesday. So give everyone a reminder that this is out there. So pretty simple. Pretty simple form to fill out. Pretty similar to what we had before for previous scholarships. A little bit different, but similar. So there's not too much here. Go ahead and fill it out, and you never know, you might get one of these. So
Yeah, be good. It's a good opportunity. I know some of you have asked for scholarships, so here you go. Here's a chance, so try it out. Also, we still have our giveaway going away, up there.
we do.
And if you want to
win it up here too.
win a laptop as well, might as well do the dual thing while you're at it. Enter the scholarship,
Exactly.
enter the giveaway.
Exactly. Might as well. So yeah, it's good to see a bunch of you guys back too. Cool. We're going to do a Q&A today too. We'll talk about a couple of things first, but we'll do a Q&A. So if you want to throw your questions in chat, I will queue them up and we will get to them, same as normal. I'll do as many as we can. If you want to jump the queue, you can always super chat. So for as little as $1, you can super chat, jump the queue, and we'll always make sure we answer those ones. But otherwise, I will go through them and we'll pick and choose to the best of our ability and answer as many as we can.
You can buy me some diet tacos. I need to go on a diet, but tacos are still in the realm over there. So
you got to get the chicken ones then, I guess.
The chicken tacos,
chicken ones are a little bit healthier. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I switched to bowls or something instead of the shell.
Yeah, so. I always do the bowl at like Chipotle. I don't
know.
I
do too. I like the bowl better.
Yeah,
it's easier to eat.
It is easier to eat. That giant burrito at Chipotle is massive.
Yeah.
Those of you that aren't in the US, Chipotle is like a burrito chain.
It's like this big around,
ridiculous.
you just feel so terrible eating it.
It's just bad. It's just bad. It's bad for you. But they put the same amount of stuff in a bowl anyway. But it's better. It's like it's rice and beans and chicken or whatever you get, and it's almost healthy.
You just lose the burrito. Yeah.
Exactly. You feel a little bit better about eating it.
Yeah.
It's no tacos, but
No, it's not tacos. It's not Abel's Grill here in Kernersville, that's for sure. So.
Okay. What do we want to talk about? Let's talk about this real quick. Because we've seen this weird kind of like a lot of discussion all of a sudden around like the stock market's kind of going down, and we've seen crypto go down, and everything's been kind of going down. And it's like people are like, "What's happening? Like it's the end of the world. Like I'm not going to get a job anymore. And what's going on?"
So I'm going to quit applying. I'm not going to do anything in tech. And then Shopify spends $2.1 billion on a logistics startup. So here's the thing that I want to give people hope on. I do think, and I'm not like this isn't a business channel, but recessions every 10 years we have one pretty much. I mean, like they're a clockwork, and a recession is just basically a slight downturn in the overall GDP of the country. Not to get too technical, and a lot of times it's tracked by the stock market, and you see the stock market retracting. What people don't understand about the stock market is most companies don't trade on the stock market, so it doesn't have a big impact on what they're doing. Publicly traded companies sometimes have to make reactions to keep their stock price up. I get all that. But, if you're looking at like, say, Facebook reducing people, these are standard things that companies go through. There's no guarantee that a company is going to stay in business forever. But when you have a recession, I don't think Facebook is going to go out of business this year. I mean, they have like $48 billion in the cash. I mean, like they're not in trouble. They're just maybe restructuring how they're doing it. And it's just natural things. Maybe they're spending more money in other areas. And so there'll be layoffs in some areas. Netflix could be in trouble. Who knows? I mean, like but that's a competitive market landscape and that's changing. Has nothing really to do with the economy at large. Or maybe we're coming out of a pandemic and people are just saying, hey, I got 8 streaming services in 2020. I don't need 8.
Right.
I mean, which one do I cut?
My prediction we were talking about this morning is I think someone buys Netflix or Netflix combines with somebody. I think it's like Disney Netflix or something. We're going to see we've seen this separation of everything. We're going to see this come back together again of everything.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. So it's just a natural process. Here's the one thing I think people can be assured of, and I think we should talk about this at length on Thursday, that tech will continue to be strong. And even during the pandemic, which we never called the pandemic a recession, it was a recession like all the other recessions. We closed the entire freaking country down. And people still had tech jobs. Did people lose their job during the pandemic? Yes. But some companies thrived during the pandemic. They really did. DoorDash and those kind of guys. Now DoorDash is getting hard now because people are going back out to eat. I don't know if that's going to
Zoom's withheld that like that. They did great, and the platforms that are like that, they had a massive boon, and they're still doing well.
Yeah,
as well as B.
Yeah. So what I want people to understand out there is like, number one, these are external factors that you can't control. And so since you can't control a recession, none of us as one individual can go, I'm fighting the recession single-handedly, Kevin. I'm going to turn it back. You can't do that.
Trying,
so
man. I'm trying to buy lots of things. I'm trying.
I'm buying everything I can, So what we do is we just basically work on our craft, work on the things we can control, and then put our best foot forward out there. And if you know how to code and you're committed to your craft, you're going to be working in this industry. It's still extremely hot. The salaries are still high. But if salaries come down, it's still, even if salaries come down in tech, it's still extremely high. I mean, it's not like maybe they won't be 300 and you'll go down to 220 if you're a senior, but that's still really good, so everything's relative.
Right. Exactly. It's one of the kind of it seems to be one of the last kind of places that you can kind of even hide during a recession in it. It's like,
I think so. I mean, it's not
I'm not
going
gonna say
anywhere.
it's not affected, but it's less affected than a lot of other industries are.
It's more recession proof, so and then people are like, what you're seeing is CSR, customer service jobs are getting increasingly more automated. That takes tech. I think you'll see things like McDonald's and those kind of fast quick service restaurants embrace more automation as you order.
I saw the burger flipper at Hardee's. So
exactly. It's it just means that the jobs shift, and so when the jobs shift, people get scared. But you got to remember, we used to shoe horses, and then cars came around, and then people were no longer blacksmiths, and now they're auto mechanics, and then we went from hunter gatherers to we planted fields, and then we went to industry. So all these things go through these cycles. And the jobs just change, and it's your job to change with it. But I would say for the next 20, 30 years, tech is there's nothing that can replace it. It's just going to get more and more automated and more programmers.
So you're saying Skynet's at least 30 years out. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, at
so
least,
it's right. They just got the year wrong. That's right.
You still beat Skynet in a war every time.
I just saw Terminator 2 was on the other day, and it made me laugh because it's even in the past now. Everything in it is
1997.
It's like 97, and it's like, wow, seems like forever ago now.
Yeah, they missed that prediction.
It was very wrong. So yeah, one other thing while I was on the TechCrunch started looking at that 2.1 billion acquisition from Shopify, by the way,
Yeah.
which is insane. So Shopify bought basically what they bought was a logistics company, which is interesting. It means they must be moving into some kind of fulfillment or something too, as well as like I think you said it yesterday. They're coming after Amazon. That's what it is.
They have to.
Yeah. So they bought this.
So that they
2.1
can
billion
ship faster.
is plenty of cash. And that's like
They get cash.
they got money. That's not a small acquisition.
And so when you let's look at FANG. When you look at the FANG stocks, with the example of, let's take Netflix out of that. Microsoft, I mean, it's down today, but like, who's not investing in Microsoft right now? They are there's nothing.
Let's go see.
Yeah, 267. I would buy that in a second right now. I'm not a financial advisor, but like, in fact, I am going to buy some of that. So like, and if you look at Apple's
look
the
at
same
it over
way.
a year, though. Look, by the way, look at it over a year. Yes, it might be down on the last 6 months, but over a year, we're at 267. We started out the year at 247, so it's still up $20 a share, even over 1 year.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's where you really want to look.
Yeah. And so what are the things driving this? Obviously, cloud. And when you look at the reports that came out 3 weeks ago, which was like cloud is up, Windows is up, Office is up, everything is killing it. And then Apple is another one on the downturn. But what's going on with Apple? Anything? Or is anyone buying more or less iPhones? Did they release a brand new chip?
Right.
Yes.
It's just
they did. This is an example of when credit rises in the stock market, people can't buy stocks on leverage as much. And so they tend to buy less. And then they also, when they get these high valuations, they take profits. 3 weeks from now, Apple will be trading probably back up at its high somewhere, or a month or 2 months from now. Definitely by the end of the year, it'll go back to where it was.
I mean, you can see we're at 153. But this time last year, we were at 125. So it's still up. I mean, I guess it went up to 170 something, but it's still overall.
But this stock price isn't changing Tim Cook's plans. I mean, like, they're not going to cut people and quit making the M1 chip and quit making the next, super Mac computer, whatever's coming out later this year, like the new cheese toaster grater thing or whatever it's going to look like. You're still going to make the $60,000 computer. Yeah. So I think we're all going to be fine. And we just need to not panic, stay committed to craft, and I think you'll be fine.
Exactly.
And that's my hope for the day. So hopefully anybody got to come.
Not really, but we'll talk about more about that on Thursday. We'll do a whole thing about it on Thursday. While I was there on TechCrunch, I did notice this. They have this pitch to startup event, TechCrunch startup event in Columbus, my old hometown, Columbus, Ohio. So even if you don't have a something to pitch, so you've got to be in the Columbus area, you got to have a minimum viable product, and you got to be pre-Series A. But I would say if you don't have anything to pitch, something like this to go to would be very interesting to learn like what's out there, what people are doing, and how to pitch something. So
you also can go there to see the ideas that people are pitching, which is, I like going to these just to see kind of what the ideas are. And me and you have personally attended several of these in the past. Yeah. And they're kind of fun. And a lot of times we're in there, me and you are always going like, that's a bad idea,
and then and then they get funded.
Then they get made it, So who would ever do that? I mean, that's stupid. But like, but then we're obviously wrong. But like, so I think they're pretty fun to watch. And then you see how people pitch it. If you don't know, pre-Series A means that you haven't been funded by an investor yet.
Right.
Or an institutional investor. So these people are looking to raise significant capital.
But it also means you can't just show up with an idea. You've got to have something.
You've got to have something in place, like that. And then leadership's in place, the company's in place, those kind of things. Yep. But this tells you that people are still looking for the next big idea, the next thing. And in tech, that's what's great about it. Even if Facebook goes away, there will be something right behind it to replace it. And I'm not really crashing on Facebook. Obviously, they know more about what they're doing than I do, but like they do have Instagram, they do have Oculus. It's not like they're going away. I mean, like they may cut some jobs, but come on, man. If you're a senior engineer and you get cut from Facebook, you got a job next week. You just do, unless you're doing something wrong.
Luke, thank you.
That's fine. You can stop working on your bug tracker, man. You're good to go, baby. So
I think so. I think you've probably earned it, Luke. You've probably earned it. And why is it bad? Why is it bad? Surely it must have helped you at some point.
Yeah,
that's funny.
That's great. Thanks for the chat there.
Yes, Lee. Thank you very much for the super chat. Appreciate it.
So if you got a burning question, ask me, buy me a taco, and I'll try to answer it for you. If not, let's see some of the comments out there. See what's up.
Yeah, let's do some questions here. Let's see.
Yeah, let's do some questions.
I haven't watched this. Oh, I did see this video, but I haven't watched it yet, Simon. Posted a video earlier today discussing the issues around employees and home working at Apple. I'm not sure if that's related to the drop.
Yeah, so I read that, Simon. So the main guy of AI quit because he didn't want to go back in the office.
Okay.
And he's the head of AI research and development at Apple. What I will say about this is people like that have significant options.
Yeah.
Right. And so, like,
right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably
he's not going unemployed, is he?
Nah, and he was already making a lot of money to begin with. So, like, maybe he takes a year off and vacations in Spain. I mean, so they're just different than us that make mortgages and, myself included, have to make the bills and make payments and that kind of stuff. So we don't have any options around that. So, don't follow his lead like, hey, I'm going to quit because they're making me come back in the office. Just do what you do to stay employed and do what you do to stay engaged. It's not the worst thing in the world.
And it is interesting because Apple as a company, there's certain things that need to be on site, right? They're a technology company where they're producing hardware and stuff. It's like they have to do stuff on site, so there are certain roles to do that. But they've always embraced remote work. I worked there for a little bit. I was remote.
In the article, Tim Cook wants 5 days back. That's what he wants.
Right.
And this guy was coming back 3 days and he quit over 3.
Right.
So I think these are isolated. I don't think this is anything about the economy. It's just that, hey, you know what? Homework has changed and people want to work from home. I get it. Companies don't want you to. And like, there's going to be this give and take and it'll land somewhere in the middle. I don't think it's anything to stress over.
Yeah.
If you want remote and you have the option to be able to go get it, go get it. If you don't have the options to go get it, don't demand it because you're going to be sitting at home. You will be at home. It's like you won't be working.
You won't get paid. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So some of us have options, some of us don't. So, but work on your craft and then you can create those options for yourself for sure.
Cool. Okay. Let's do some questions then. Let's see.
Yeah.
What do we got here? Adajat. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Adajat. Backend with Node.js or data analytics with Python?
I think either or can be fine. What we've said, in a recent video release that Hired showed the largest or the most in-demand job is full stack development. Node.js would fall in that range. So like full stack development with something like ASP.NET, Node.js is probably going to give you more options than data analytics with Python breaking in. So codes. Thank you, man. All right, thanks.
Thank you. We'll come back to your question in a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right. I think the pool for the data science stuff is smaller. Although it's bigger than it's ever been, it's still significantly dwarfed by full stack web development.
Right. It's also for breaking in, it's easier to build things to show on the web side than it is in the data analytics side, so that you can break in have that proof of work for your first job. So I think building a web dev career and then moving into data analytics is something you can do for sure. But I know plenty of people, their first job was data analytics. I know some guys that are looking at, they look at brain scans and image analysis and things like that. So it's definitely an interesting field if you like it. So either or will probably work. I just think you'll have more opportunity in web development.
And I think also whatever does interest you, because those are all very different jobs.
They're different. Two different jobs, two different skill sets. At least you've got your stacks correctly, that you're looking at, something like Python over here on the data analytics side, and then that, JavaScript or something like that's going to be on the web side. You can also look at a server-side language like C# and ASP.NET instead of Node.
There you go. Let's see. Zach says, are you guys doing any live portfolio reviews today or only Q&A? We are only Q&A today. Maybe we'll do a portfolio next week.
Yeah, something like next week. We were off last week, so we'll keep doing them. We don't want to just be a portfolio review stuff. So we're just trying to mix it up a little bit.
Not just that. People always have questions about other stuff too, so we want to kind of get into both things. So, and we don't have the bandwidth to go live every day. So
All right, what was our super chat guy? What did he ask?
Yeah, let me.
HC codes.
Says, what is the state of Angular in 2022? Should I continue learning it? Should I study what's popular like React?
Oh, if you already know Angular, just go with that.
Yeah, it's not that Angular's unpopular.
Yeah. No, it's not. I mean, so you just think React's more popular. So either or in that space is going to help you. So like go with what you know, get a job with that, and then learn the next one. Don't bounce around learning the next hottest thing. You'll never break in that way.
Yeah, it's tough to get out of that like grass is greener mentality, isn't it? Because it always will be. You'll learn one thing and like you'll be like, see this other shiny object over here, and you'll want to go get that too. But you got to.
And you'll see someone tweet, "Vue is dominant," and you're like, "Oh, I need to learn Vue.js now." So like, just look at, stay with what you know, and then get a job with that. That's what I would do.
That's it. Especially if you do already know it too. It's like you just have to.
Yeah.
You're jumping the steps a little bit. You don't have to like learn a whole new thing, then try and get a job. You just have to build some things and get a job. It's much easier.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. Parker wants to know, what's the best way to break in as a UI UX dev? Curious on you guys' take and advice.
You're going to have to build a lot of things that show that you can do UI and UX pretty much. Yeah. I think you're going to have to, that's going to take the proof of work more than anything.
And you've got to nail it. That's the thing.
Yeah, you got to be really good at it. So it's going to be nailing clones, but clones aren't good enough. You got to build your own thing probably.
Yep.
That shows your ability to lay out views and forms and things like that. So
exactly. And here's what I will say about UI and UX kind of design and delivery is I see some people go into this space and they try and reinvent the wheel. And they're like, they're saying like, oh, I'm a UI UX dev and I've created this amazing thing. But it's like, and in their mind, it's very intuitive and it's great and it's awesomely designed. But it goes against every previous pattern ever invented.
Right. Yeah. We saw one where they had their stuff right in the middle of the page, the links like right in the center. And it's like,
I get it. You've designed what you wanted to make. I understand that. But there's a reason why the navbar is where it is. There's a reason why the controls are in places that people understand. That is UI and UX. And you're trying to buck the system. So I would say go with established patterns and go with what actually works. Don't try and go against the grain. You don't have to be the one person that invents the next thing. Just be good at what is consistent and be good at what's standardized.
Yeah, and so maybe there's some tooling in place, with some of the tools like Figma and things like that you need to know.
Yeah.
Definitely CSS, HTML, you're going to need to know, probably JavaScript to some degree as well. So
I've always found UI and UX interesting. I was interested in it before I even knew what it was. I remember back in the day, I wanted to actually start a blog around usability on websites back in early 2000s before it even had a name, but I didn't know what to call it. And and I never ended up starting it, but I was always interested in it. I always find it fascinating. It's super interesting. Okay, Haroon says, I started learning 6.5 months ago intensively. Now it's it's day 5 of my job. Awesome.
Nice. Great. All right.
That's awesome.
Great job.
Well done, Haroon.
Good job.
That's amazing. I saw a post about somebody learning over the course of 6 months over 2 hours a day, and I was like, that's 300 to 400 hours. I was like, I don't think that's enough.
It's getting there, but I think 700 is closer. I mean, more realistic.
Oh, that was it. It was actually over 3 months, not over 6 months. So I was learning over 3 months, 2 to 3 hours a day, and I was like, yeah, you probably have the basics, but that's about it.
So just think, you're going to have to invest some time in this. It's not a 2-week journey. It's a 3-month, 700-hour journey. In my opinion.
Notice the word there, intensively.
Yeah, so maybe every day.
Yeah.
So
well done, Haroon. Awesome. I love to see that. Love to see that. Some other successful news here. Daniel has an interview tomorrow too. So
good luck, Daniel. Hey, hot tip: turn an interview question into a demo. Just if you can take the first one and talk about specific code in that interview question. That'll help you out. So go from abstract to concrete as quick as you can. So study some projects, and then you could look at the top 30 questions in your stack. Oh, Taryn Bill, thanks, man.
Sharon Bill, awesome, thank you. Learning to code and building my portfolio on my personal desktop machine. Is it worth buying a budget laptop to demo for in-person interviews?
Ooh, sure, question. If you're going to be in person, yeah. If you're going to be in Teams, then it doesn't matter. But like, I do think being on a demo in person will help you a lot.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, because you can't rely on what kind of environment you're going to go into. Like if you go into like an interview environment, they're probably not going to have some kind of a machine there you can use or anything. So you're all going to have to rely on your own kind of thing.
Right.
You could use. I mean, you could use a tablet. You could probably get away with that. That probably made it cheaper. The iPad Airs aren't that expensive. A little bit less than a laptop, maybe.
But you could probably get a really budget laptop and
you could do that.
Go with that too.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. Yeah, for in-person interviews, it'd be great. But a lot of them are over Teams and Zoom, so like you might not have to do that as much.
Yeah. Plus, I guess you could take it, and then if you get the job, great. You're obviously going to be paid. But if you need to get rid of it, you could sell it afterwards or whatever if you wanted to, or borrow one if you can.
Yeah.
Somebody who has one, and you just borrow it for a few years. You could do that too. If you get a really close friend or whatever. Okay, Matthew says, why do you suggest Windows 10 11 for the course? Okay, wants an M1 MacBook, but not sure about VS Code on Parallels. Rightly so. Can the course be done on an M1?
So there is some workarounds. We're teaching Windows because Visual Studio on Windows is superior than Visual Studio on Mac. VS Code operates the same on either one. So like, that's not the big deal. So the first half of the course, not a big deal. Yep. Once we move into .NET and C#, we want to be on Windows because it makes more sense to follow along with what we're doing when you're doing with the same piece of software that we have.
It's very different on a Mac. It's not just like a little bit different. It's very different.
Yeah. Now, I haven't read lately Parallels in M1. There are some workarounds, but I haven't tried them where you can get Windows running on M1 with a different build of Windows. I haven't tried it.
It's an ARM build of Windows, and I haven't tried it either, to be fair. I have an M1, and I have not tried putting Windows on it because I know it's just going to be a nightmare.
Right. So that's unfortunately what it is a licensing, the way Microsoft licensed ARM, and then Apple came out later with the new chip, and so that licensing has to expire, and then I'm sure it'll go to M1 Mac eventually. So we'll see what happens. Right now, it's kind of it's in flux.
Yeah. I haven't looked
I think you can get Rider. That's another thing you could get Rider, but then again, you're in the same course where you're looking at a different tool than what we're doing. It doesn't line up, and so if you're learning for the first time, it can get confusing.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that's the point, right? If you're learning for the first time, it can get confusing because you're kind of trying to follow along. You don't know what's tool based and what's kind of language and system based. And it's kind of figuring out those two things can be kind of confusing.
Yeah, the templates will be different. The workflows will be different. So,
yep. I love this question. Does Coder Foundry do group projects?
No.
No,
we think you should stand on your own. I mean, we think everything you do should be on your own because you learn more that way. We think group projects, you can have a dominant personality that dominates your group project. You don't get to work on it. And while you can take credit for it, you didn't learn anything. And taking credit for it doesn't help you. We want you to learn. And that's why when you go through our course, we expect you to type everything in because we think the muscle memory of doing that, the act of coding is more important than downloading a repo for somebody and getting it running. Anyone can do that. So like, that's just our approach to it. We're different than everyone else in the industry. And I think our results speak for themselves. Like if you do the work, you learn more while you do it.
Anyone who has been to college knows how group projects go.
They suck. I mean, or you end up doing all the work. It's either one of the two.
That's why they suck. Yeah. I ended up doing all the work for mine. It was like, I want to get the A, damn it. I'm not going to turn in this crappy C project. I want an A. I want my 4.0. Like,
Yeah. Thanks, Jarrett. Thanks a lot, man.
Yes, Jarrett. Thank you so much. If you have a question, throw it in chat, by the way, too. And I'll pull it up. But thank you for the super chat. We appreciate it. Thank you for hanging out with us. Okay, Phil says, I make $5.5K a month from a remote internship, and I'm thinking about taking a semester off of university. Advice.
Whatever you want to do, man. Yeah, so like if you're doing well and you're making money, then do that. That's fine. Don't quit on your dreams, though. I mean, if you're learning lots of stuff at university, I would keep doing it.
Yeah, it depends on like how far. We talk about this a lot. People always are like, "Hey, I have this offer for a job, but I'm still in university." And it always comes down to like, how good is the offer? How close
are you?
And how close are you to finishing? Because ultimately, if it's an offer you would, let's say that you finished your degree and it's an offer you would get anyway, then take the offer, no question. You've literally like bypassed the system, and you can do the degree on the side or finish it off or whatever, like maybe remotely or just go at it that way if you really need to do it. But if you're towards the end, it's a more difficult decision.
Just might as well, like, completion is completion, and like finishing things is finishing things. And I think, if you've already paid 75% of it and you're in your last semester, you might as well just finish it off. I mean, there's no reason not to get it at that point.
Yep.
So even if you feel like it's not helping you, now I wouldn't turn down an offer, but I would take an offer and try to finish it remote.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because you got to think about it. Why are you doing the degree in the first place? To get the offer, right? That's
to get the offer. That's why we're doing it.
So if you get the offer before, take the offer.
Yeah.
Let's see. Resvolt. I'm guessing. I'm getting that right.
Yeah. So I think number one, don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask questions early in the process. Don't wait 2 weeks or 10 weeks to decide that you don't know how to do something. Stay committed to your craft and always learning, and be easy to work with as well, and be very kind of upward management, which means like working for your superiors and try to be a service at the place you're at. And then that way you can always succeed. But don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't need to know everything, and try to, do some stuff first, Google some stuff first. And if you don't know, ask right away. Typically, you'll be on 1 to 2 week sprints, so don't ask at the end of the sprint, "Hey, I didn't get this done."
Yeah, don't be that person. Yeah, don't be the person that doesn't deliver. You definitely ask questions. I think you're
show up every day.
It's a fine line, right, between like how much work do I put in and be stuck versus when do I ask for help? And there is that
3-4 hours you can look at it and then just say, "Hey, I got a question here. I don't know enough information."
Exactly, because if you go to your mentor or your senior or somebody you've been assigned to like ask the question, the first thing they're going to ask you is, what have you done so far? What research have you done?
Did you Google this, or did you look at it?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. How close are you to fixing it? And if you can say, "Oh, I found this, and this," like, "Oh, okay," so now they can kind of be like, "Okay," they piece these things together, and it becomes much easier. And you'll actually understand the answer more because you've kind of researched it a little bit. So yeah,
and just don't sit there and do nothing. I mean, like, thanks a lot.
Yeah, but yes, definitely don't just sit there and do nothing because you don't know how to do it.
Because you're afraid. Yeah.
That's because that is how to get fired. You're not gonna, if you don't do anything because you didn't know how. That's gonna be bad. That will.
And make sure you use Git if they're using Git. Make sure you use source control. That'll get you fired too. If you violate that.
Yeah, but be careful. Okay. And thank you for the super chat again, by the way.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks. Awesome.
Miguel says, "Is it important to have cover letters?"
I don't read them, so I may be biased. I don't read them.
I'm the same. I think they're outdated.
Yeah, so I think it's more important to have a LinkedIn profile that has your skills on it, so a recruiter can find you. I think that's more important. I think having a resume is important that has project work with tech stack on each project in there is more important. So those keywords should be on every project on your resume. Having a portfolio vastly trumps any cover letter you could ever write. So I think that's important to have a resume, a portfolio that you can show work, especially in tech.
Yep. Some places will mandate it too, though. By the way, they'll say like send
a
resume
and
cover letter, so you got to write one. So you should have one. I'm not saying you shouldn't have one.
Yeah. So there's some websites out there like Resume Genius that you can go and grab these things and crank them out.
Yeah, and you can have kind of a template, and then obviously just tailor it to each one. Just change a few things in the job description, maybe a little bit about. You have a paragraph where you're talking about the technologies used or something. So you don't have to you don't have to create this. You have to create brand new every single time. Kind of start with a template and go from there.
Make sure it doesn't have any misspellings and no typos. I've seen some stuff on Twitter where people should forgive people for typos, and they're yelling at managers for like turning people down for typos. Listen, they're easy to fix. They're easy to catch. Run them through Grammarly, get someone to proofread it. There's no reason to put that onus on the hiring manager to like, "Oh, they got a typo," and then yell at them for not
ultimately
it's attention to detail, man.
Exactly. Ultimately, it shows lack of attention to detail. And that's something that every company, especially as a developer, is going to want to make sure that you have. Because if you get that wrong in a code base or whatever, and you screw up something because of your lack of attention to detail, that's a bad thing.
Yeah, so typos are important in coding, especially in JavaScript. So,
okay, Zach says, just entered the job market after self-teaching for the last 8 months. Awesome. I have a portfolio and projects and LinkedIn, but I get many automated denials when I send my resume. Any tips for a first job?
All right, so let's look at your LinkedIn, number one, and then let's see that do you have keywords at the top of your LinkedIn? So if you want to show up a LinkedIn profile like mine or whatever, or anybody's, Kevin, if you want to grab one real quick, we basically put the keywords at the top in the description there. That'll make sure that when people do a search for the stack that you're in, they'll find you. So a recruiter finds you. So it looks like you're just applying directly to job postings and you get automatic denials. That means that your keywords are also not in the resume that you're sending out as well. So like those keywords have to be in that resume to go through ADS scanners. You can call them bad, you can call them whatever, but they're getting hundreds of these things. So you've got to get to the top. This is why we work with recruiters, because recruiters can pass it to the hiring manager and someone looks at it. So that's the two things I would do. Then our portfolio has to look great. If it doesn't look great, or if you don't know if it looks great, get someone to look at it. And then your projects have to be on point. So you post about your projects on LinkedIn, you post about your projects on Twitter, and then you're always sharing that portfolio when you apply directly to a job. Once you apply, turn around and try to end message someone from LinkedIn and say, hey, I just applied. Here's 3 reasons why I'm matched. Can you look at my portfolio? And you have to be super aggressive. So hopefully that helps, Zach. I did that really fast, but.
I was trying to find a good example of a LinkedIn thing for a .NET developer, the description. I can't remember who had the really good one from before. It was really good.
Yeah. But basically, it'll say .NET. You put your stack with pipes in between it, and then it'll come up in the search.
Yeah. I mean, everyone that I'm searching for here does show .NET developer, but I was looking for ones that were a little bit different. So here you go. Let me go to this one. So Ashley Sharp here is a good example. She has .NET developer, C# and ASP.NET. So
now we can go and review her thing here. I would change that picture if I was her.
This one.
I love the banner. I don't like the picture. And the kid's cute, but like that doesn't help you. I mean, like sorry, Ashley, your kid is cute as a button. But
I'm only second connection, so I'm not connected with Ashley. So
yeah. So but other than that, she's got featured here, resume. This is pretty good. So and she's working at, where is it?
Scenario 77. This is
so she's got a job full time,
being a library assistant. So that's cool.
Yeah,
so this is kind of the way to do it, though. This is the way to list it.
That's how you do it. That's why it's working.
Yep.
And look at this. She's got a banner image that's really good. A design and develop experience that made people's lives simple. That's great.
Yeah.
I would just change the photo to a pro photo.
More of a professional kind of headshot, right? That's kind of what you do. Yep. And I'd also say, going back to your original question too, like make sure that your portfolio is like rock solid too.
On point.
Get an unbiased opinion from somebody you trust that will tell you the honest truth whether it is good or not.
Yeah, and someone that can actually evaluate a portfolio too. Like just because you show someone, they're like, oh, that's amazing. But someone that's looked at portfolios and go, I don't know, Zach, or that looks great, Zach. I mean, I like it. I would change these couple of things.
Right.
So good luck.
Right. And here you go. Zach also says thank you, and it will definitely be more aggressive.
Don't be passive. You can't be passive. There's too many people. Here's the thing, Zach. When you're applying directly through an inbound link, 20 other recruiters are pitching their individual candidate ahead of you.
Yeah.
And that's why you get that automatic denial. A lot of times that job posting goes out on Indeed, it's already been filled because the recruiter's already there pushing it, doing it. And that's what we do here at Coder Foundry. We're pushing resumes directly to employers. That's what we do. And we talk to them. We have relationships and say, hey, Frank, here, look at these 5. I think they're a fit for you. And so that's why we win, because we're aggressive. And when we do get one of our students to passively apply, We then turn around and call that company and say, hey, man, Zach just applied, so we think he's a great fit and a match. You should take a look at it. We can't recommend him enough. We're not getting a fee for that. We just try to place our students that way.
Yep. That's it. Reswell has another super chat. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Let's do it. How long does it take to make 80K as a developer in the UK? How many years of experience would I need, and what kind of roles are these? I know from personal experience somebody who is recently, I'm not going to name them or anything, but somebody who recently is looking for a job. It is a remote job, I think, with somebody who's overseas, but they are in the UK. And their offer is well into 6 figures, UK. And it was, they had about 2 years experience, and it was a React job. So it was a front end job.
I was going to say 2 to 5, somewhere in that range, depending on what you're doing. I think full stack is the way to go to get the bigger money for sure.
Yep, it is. This one wasn't though. The example that I saw wasn't. It was it was React front end, but I think it's more of an anomaly.
It could be exceptional too. I mean, 100K is exceptional. So and then UK and US are different. So far as like how you get paid, but like I think you can get 80K.
We know
if you're in
UK
London,
salaries
you can
are
get
less,
80K.
though. Yeah, we know that UK salaries are less though. We've seen it. We've spoke to recruiters there.
And I'm not familiar with that, but I would say that if you're in London, you're going to make that. If you're in Nottingham, you may not. But that's the same way true. Like if you're in Austin, Texas, it's higher, but it may be a little bit lower in say North Carolina. But the cost of living is significantly different. You don't have $1 million home in North Carolina, so significantly different. So it's all relative based on where you're at.
Yeah, but I mean, a couple years for sure, at least, is what you're going to be there. 2 to 5, and again, if you can do full stack, you're going to have more of an opportunity to get that.
Yeah, and just stay. I'm making a career. I'm not making a quick rich scheme. This is a 10-year effort that I'm going to be on. I build a career, and I move, and I impress my managers. I get raises. I move. I get a job, and I increase my skill set. So I think you'll be there. You'll get there.
Okay, here's an interesting question. I'm not sure I've had this one before. Are web development jobs typically focused on developing the company's site or the company's clients' sites?
Both. You can work for a consulting company that builds sites.
Doesn't it?
You can work for a company that's building a company's website. But I want you to think about this, Jonathan. Typically, where the money's at is we're building a lot of business applications that run inside the company behind the firewall, not just the public-facing site.
Yeah, I think people forget about that.
They
forget about those internal apps.
Yeah. The internal apps are where all of it's being done. It's not necessarily the one site that you see public-facing, unless they're an app-facing site. If you're building Salesforce or LinkedIn or something like that. But like in general, you work for most companies, they have a website which could be done totally by a marketing team with a CMS. You may never work on that. But it's the integrations and the moving data around and the inventory control or those kind of things is where you make your money.
Yeah, if you get hired at, let's say, Bank of America as a web developer, chances are you're probably not working on bankofamerica.com. You may be, but trust me, there's a million other apps they use internally that you're more likely to be working on.
Yeah, and you could be working behind the scenes on like web banking that's behind the firewall once someone logs in. You could do that, but like BofA.com, the marketing sites, typically, I would bet at Bank of America, it's outsourced to a marketing firm. That marketing firm is doing the UX, UI design. Internal IT is really not doing that except for integrations where it needs to integrate. And then that's been done by a branding company. But if you work for a consulting company, you can build client sites all day long. There's a lot of marketing companies, that's what they do. Hope that helps, Jonathan.
Simon says, plans to cover Maui.
We want to. We definitely want to. We got a lot of things ahead of it, but yes, for sure.
But we are interested in that.
Yeah, it's huge. It's very huge. It's really, really cool. I mean, like what they have coming down. I've talked to people from Microsoft, and like what they're doing is really, really cool. It's just not out in production quite yet, but it's very, very close. It's going to be this summer.
Yeah, we need to look at that again because that's been gone kind of quiet, hasn't it? So after the initial getting dropped from .NET 6, it's
going to be in 7 for sure, and then it's going to be sometime this summer. So it's definitely a big deal.
Okay. Is cloud computing still worth it regarding the current political events? What's the current political event? Am I missing something?
I don't know, but yes. So I don't care what they are. So like, yeah, I mean, like if you look at AWS and Azure, which are the two dominant clouds, they're both on the rise. They're both killing it. How else are you going to publish your stuff? You're going to go back to centralized running your own servers? I mean, like,
no,
I don't think that's ever going to change. So like, I don't know what the political events are. I mean, I guess you could say that AWS kicked people off their platform they didn't like. Okay. There's other providers out there that you can roll to. So like, but cloud computing is here to stay. It's always been. It's another word for hosting. I mean, they just host it in a different way. We've had hosts forever, for 30 years. So like, it's worth it.
I saw a really crazy misunderstanding about Web3 the other day. It was great because it was somebody who described Web3 as basically being cloud computing. They were like, oh, it distributes all of your data in your app so that it's all across the web. I'm like, we've had that for years. It's called the cloud. Like Web3, that's not Web3.
That's not what Web3 is.
Nothing to do with Web3. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
People are so confused by that. We should do a Web3 episode at some point because it's like the most annoying thing that I've come across in a long time.
Yeah,
it really is. It really is. Okay, what's Troy got going on? It says, update. I accepted the 87K offer. My current company said, whoa, we need you here. Okay, they counter-offered full remote and an extra 50K raise. It's a wash because of benefits, vacation, etc. I stayed. Wow, okay.
Nice, Troy.
Yeah, awesome.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's what it takes. The market being the way that it is right now, it's like employee retention is a huge thing on everybody's like mind right now. Trust me, the company as a whole, wherever you work, has this. They've been told like employee retention is a thing. Like it's a risk for a lot of companies right now.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's so sometimes the benefits and all that can be it can be a wash, but sometimes I have people over index on our benefits too. Like, oh, your benefits cost me $40,000 a year. I'm like, there's no freaking way that it costs you $40,000 a year to have our benefits. Like that's just impossible. I mean, so
maybe for a family of 16, I don't know.
16, and you had 16 heart attacks. I mean, like, I don't know. But then you also have a maximum out of pocket. Right. So like, and you can always mitigate that with HSAs and things like that. So, I think you did. That's if you like the place, Troy, you did a good job. I mean, you got more money. More money's more money, man. 15K.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you're full remote, so that's great. Good job.
So I wonder.
I've always thought Troy's pretty smart, man. I've never met him, but I've always felt that way. So like he knows what he's doing.
So hold on, Troy. Can you tell me, were you remote before, or no? You negotiated that as part of the new thing, or were you remote through the pandemic and they were making you go back or something? I'm interested in that too. It's we've seen a lot of that. Okay. Oh, Resvo also says first developer job in 5 days. Any tips?
The same guy I get the other day is just don't be afraid to ask questions while you're there. Yeah. Hey, thanks, Zakia. Zakia?
Zakai maybe? Zakai? We're trying, I promise. We're trying to butcher your name. I apologize. Thank you for the super chat. Let me put it back up here. They're interested in ASP.NET and hopefully Maui for mobile apps. Why is there little content on YouTube for .NET compared to Node, Django, PHP?
I don't know. We try to combat that, but like I think that we do have a self-paced course. You got to learn .CoderFounder. We can teach you about .NET as far as ASP.NET goes right now. Maui isn't really published out. There are some things out there from Microsoft about Maui, but you won't see that content come out till later the year just because it'll be in production at that point. But definitely Maui for mobile apps I think it's going to be big. I mean, I really do. I could be wrong. React Native could still kill it. Flutter could still kill it. All three of them could kill it. But I do think that Maui is going to be a very interesting thing because it can go to Mac desktop as well as mobile. And then there's some other kind of use cases that are kind of interesting for Maui. We'll just see how it pans out. But I do think that it's going to be a very big thing. So
there you go. By the way, Troy was remote through pandemic, went back last August, put in his 2 weeks, then immediately went back to remote again. So And you're right, it doesn't cost anything. That's the other thing too, I guess. It didn't cost the company anything, and you can get the same work out of you. Obviously, you proved yourself before.
Yeah, they wanted to keep you, so that's great.
That's cool. Yeah, that's very cool. Good to know. Let's see what's up next. Oh, it's just a thank you. Tashinga just says, I want to just say thank you both for being so open with your advice.
Thanks, man.
Anytime.
Well, thanks. Try to help if you can.
Exactly. Thanks for showing up and watching. Like, if you weren't here, we wouldn't be here because we'd be talking to nobody. Or maybe we would be here. Maybe we'd just be talking to
me and Kevin just sit there and chat. I mean, we've done that before too. We did it on Twitch the other day.
We did.
Just me and one other guy.
Yeah. So it was like there's three of us there. You, me, and one viewer, just to test it out. But yes, thank you for hanging out. Let's see what's the next one here. Grav says, I'm a little over halfway into my computer science degree and can code Java, C, C++. What's MASM 86? I'm not sure with MASM. I'm not familiar with that one.
Probably low level stuff like that.
I'm guessing so. Any advice on projects I should make for my portfolio? Just started working on a bug tracker in C#. Wow.
There you go. You've already done it. Keep going. You know what to do. Build that bug tracker.
Right.
Go into WebDev.
Okay, it's assembly. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, build the bug tracker. That's it, right?
Yep.
Let's see, Robotel. Hey guys, I was on my web dev career in 2 weeks, starting as a Django dev, coming from a Python QA automation job. Awesome. Nice way to pivot. Do you have any helping resources regarding DRF/Django?
That's not our wheelhouse. There's some stuff out there, people out there that do Django stuff. I'm sure you can find it. Yeah. And just search up Django on YouTube.
Yeah.
There's some YouTubers in our space that do stuff around that. I don't know how good or bad it is. So
yeah. I forget who does Django. I'm trying to think off the top of my head now. There is a programming with Mosh video. Oh, but there's a Traversy Media video that just came out recently for this. From who did it? I'm gonna find it.
Dennis Ivy, I think.
Dennis Ivy, that's it. That's kind of think of the name. I'm like, sorry, Dennis. Yeah. If you ever see this, but yes, Dennis Ivy has a channel on this. Go check out Dennis's channel. He has a bunch of stuff on this, and he did the React or the Python course for Traversy Media. So yeah, he has a bunch of stuff. There's a bunch of good stuff about that. So yeah, go check out his channel.
But give us a sub and a like first.
And tell him we sent you. Okay. Miguel says, what advice can you share about finding a recruiter?
Okay. So like we said before, make that LinkedIn keywords up in your LinkedIn profile, then go search recruiters in your area. There's some national recruiting firms. I don't know where you're located at, say in the US, Tech Systems, Cybercoders. There's a bunch of these firms out there that you can go look for and find them, and then just try to reach out to them, show them your portfolio and tell them what you can do. Ask them for advice, how to break in, what kind of jobs they're looking for. The other thing too is about recruiters is once they start calling you, take their call every time. We have so many people that reach out to us, say, hey, I'm interested in the job. They apply. And then we try to reach back out to them. It takes us 6 or 7 days to get back to them, and they just don't. Yeah. And I don't know what it is. I think half part of it is their email isn't set up in their phone box. They don't have their voicemail set up. They give us a fake email address, and we're contacting an email address they're not checking.
Right.
And so like there's just a lot of mistakes they make. And so like you got to understand the recruiter is on your side, 100% on your side. Now, they may not place you, okay? But they want to place you because they get paid when they place you.
They don't get paid until they place you.
Exactly. So they want to find people that place you. So it's a very advantageous relationship that gets a lot of heat in the marketplace because now that's why early on you work with 5 or 6 because some of recruiters, they're not all equal. Some of them don't pay attention and, they can be aloof.
They will ghost you.
Yeah. So what?
It happens.
Wait. And then just stay in touch and be friendly with them and try to build a relationship with them. Once you have a relationship and you're nice to them, they're going to keep you top of mind, and that's who they're pushing out. So that's what I would do. Just try to network with as many as you can, and then it'll help you out for sure.
Definitely. And Jarrett, thank you for the super chat again. You appear on the board twice now. Thank you for the $10.
All right, let's look at that board. Look at that board. Yeah, look at that, man. Razvolt's up there. Jarrett's up there.
Yeah. So thank you guys for the super chat. We appreciate it very much. So.
Zakia. Cool.
Let's see. Megan Lynn Rue just wanted to pop in and say they made a loan calculator from the online bootcamp, impressed the manager in an interview, and got a software engineer internship.
So awesome. I think why is because it's a business app, Megan. I mean, like it just is business focused instead of Pokédex, and it's that simple. I mean, like it's that simple, and it shows you can solve a business problem. So I think it's great. I think that's a fantastic app to build.
Definitely.
Good job.
Definitely.
I'm glad you landed. That's awesome.
Let's see. For a web developer, which company is good for growth? Product-based company or service-based company?
Either or, man. I mean, just you're going to build a career, so you're going to work at both eventually. And if the company goes in or out of business, as long as you know how to code, you're going to be employed. So I wouldn't stress too much over that. Just get your first offer, break in, get paid. If they're working on a product, great. If they're working on service, great. If they're doing both, great. If you're working on a behind-the-scenes inventory application and they move hardware and lumber and no one sees what you do, great, as long as you're getting paid. So, like, there's a lot of things that just don't think about the forward-facing popular FANG companies. Think about every company out there that needs software developers, and then just work on what they're doing. So,
yeah, I guess don't let that be the deciding factor, right? Between taking a job and not being like,
no,
man, I really want to work on a service-based
company,
paid.
But
they're working on a product. Like, exactly. Don't. That's
my friend Joe says, stack that bag, baby.
Exactly.
Stack the bag.
Exactly. Just go get it.
Get paid. All right. What's going on? Anything else? Got a few more minutes. If you want to super chat, just let us know, and we'll be here. We got a couple more minutes here. If you got something burning, let us know.
Who said, I start a junior developer apprenticeship next week. Do you have any advice? I only know a little HTML, CSS, and some job.
Stay committed to learning, man. Stay committed to learning. Keep Googling, keep researching. Try to accomplish everything they send you, and ask a lot of questions. But you got this.
Definitely. So Jarrett has a question now too. Which is awesome. Again, thank you for the super chat. I work in web design now and have a portfolio, but it's done using WordPress. But trying to get more into web dev, should I add dev projects to the site or make a new one?
I would make dev projects to the site. You don't have to make a new one, I don't think.
You
can use templates, you can use WordPress.
Yeah,
no better. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
WordPress is a skill in of itself, so it's fine.
Exactly.
Just make sure it looks good, looks fantastic. It's modern, clean, and then there's no misspellings, and everything works on all your projects. Should work on it. Make sure your projects are published, and then click on them and see a working project they can just actually play with and mess around with. So that's what I would do, Jarrett.
Let's see. Johan said, hello guys, once again, thank you for the content and everything you do. I'm happy to share that I got an offer to become a QA engineer. My first tech job. Hell yeah.
Yeah, awesome. I like it. Love it.
And people are still out here on Twitter being like, nobody hires juniors.
No one hires juniors. And QA is a good role, man. I mean, a lot of people sleep on that. QA can lead to dev. I mean, you have to code a little bit, script some in QA. So it's a good job. And and there's an upward path even inside of QA. QA managers make money. So it's not a bad gig. I mean, I think people sleep on that a whole lot. And it's a good gig, man. Just get paid and make that money, man. I like it. It's awesome.
Yeah, awesome. Congratulations. What do you guys think should be assessed during a technical interview? Confidence, knowledge, concepts, delivery? We could do a whole hour on this. But
yeah, a lot of those things. So technical interviews can say, can you code or not, basically. Are you confident in your coding? I don't know. But like technical interview is about, can you code or not? So that's the thing that you have to do.
Yeah, we've seen like a lot of different versions of this, haven't we? Whether they be like on-site, take-home, and the one that we talked about recently, we put out the video with the coding game was technically a technical interview, kind of as technical challenge.
And since I put that out, 3 or 4 people have went through this process with this company that we've been pushing out to.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And they've had varying success with it, but some of them scored quite well. Some have scored not so well. And so, like, I think it takes practice. Okay. That's why I said people should practice.
Yeah, I remember when we first looked at it. It's like, it looks kind of confusing initially because it's like, this game is wrapped around this challenge. It's different, right? It can be kind of confusing. But again, you've got to kind of be able to wrap your head around those things. But you're really just programming like the little logic part, and it's really not that difficult. It's not. It's really not. They're kind of this. At least in the easy ones, the concepts are kind of simplistic. They're kind of straightforward.
But I think can you code or not is the main question. Can you do the job? So how do you do that? How do you take a technical interview and present that in a way? So I think if you can turn a technical interview into a demo or talk about a concrete thing you built, produces confidence, knowledge, and delivery. So if you have those three things, you're going to win. Delivery is, hey, look at my project. Confidence is, hey, I can talk about this at a great level, which expresses knowledge. So like I think those three things help you a lot by just having a project to talk about.
What was this one? We consider your content yesterday. Does it apply to remote developers too?
Get a job now? Yeah, there's remote out there. I mean, like, there's remote opportunities for everybody out there. I just say don't pigeonhole yourself into that one thing. But if you have options, you can do it. So, I think that's what you can do. You can do either or. Just, we'll just see how the market plays out. But there's remote opportunities for sure. All right, one more for the road here. So any last taco money if you want to get in right now? So we're gonna call it a day here. So.
Let's do another one here.
Okay.
I'll try and find it. Yeah, Jarrett, YouTube won't. You can't put it in chat. Sorry.
Yeah, we'll let you do it.
Portfolio. You can send, if you want us to look at it, you can send an email, info@coderfounder.com, and just say that you're from the YouTube, and I'll get it there and take a look. Info@coderfounder.com.
Yeah.
Let me see. Eduardo wants to know, are hybrid technologies like Maui going to replace native development?
So here's the thing. Maui is native. So like you got to understand it compiles down to native. So like it is native. It's just cross-platform. So like that's
the development process
Maui.
Is cross-platform, right? Well, I should say the development process. Yes. The deployment process is cross-platform.
Native. Yeah, the deployment process, but deploys down to native. So it's going to run bit level on Apple, Mac OS, Windows, Android. So like it is, it's a cross-platform way. And the same thing with Flutter, same thing on React Native. So like all of those things are the way you should build a mobile app. You shouldn't undertake a mobile app by building it in a silo of Swift or a silo of Kotlin or Java. I think you should use a cross-platform like Flutter. That's what Google's doing now. Even Google has a cross-platform. The only one that doesn't is Apple, and they're going to stay in their ecosystem and stay closed.
That's not
it's just the way they are.
It's not going to be a thing.
So but Maui allows you to cross the bridge on all of those things, and that's really great. I think Maui is also going to be pushed into ARM and all these other things that the other ones can't do. So like, there's a lot of things in Maui going on that is going to be really, really powerful. And that's why I think it's going to be a very big leader over the next coming years. It's definitely a game changer, I think. So
there you go. Cool. One last thing then, just to remind everybody, there is scholarship opportunities. There are 2 of them. We launched today. Thank you to our anonymous student who went through the course.
Yeah,
and wanted to give back, so they've given back 2 scholarships. So you can go to coderfounder.com/scholarship. That link is down in the description below. So if you're interested in that, we're going to leave that scholarship open for at least a week through next Tuesday. So please go apply, and we will choose a couple of people for the scholarship.
In our giveaway, if you want to win a laptop,
Yep, we still have that.
In our giveaway,
when we reach that
100K,
we're
gonna give it away. So that's kind of cool. We got one last super chat coming in here, Kevin. So we'll come in hot and we'll read Chris's here.
Oh, do we? I don't see it yet.
Yeah, it'll come up. I can see it on here on my monitor.
Oh, I see.
We'll wait around. There it goes. There it goes. Taco Cat. All right.
What's your Twitch link and what games you guys streaming?
The only thing we stream is Destiny when I do it. And the only time I stream Destiny is when there is a World Raid event, which would be this summer. I don't stream Destiny regularly. It's just something I do with a group of friends, and we like chasing. We're chasing to beat the world's first raid in the first 24 hours. We've had some moderate success. We haven't done it yet. It's very difficult, but like this summer, we'll do it, Kevin. This summer, this is when this is it. This is the one.
This is the one. Okay.
Yeah,
I like it.
No more McDonald's breaks for 4 hours. None of that stuff. Like
you got to be there.
You got to be there,
right? To get
stay committed. No more sleep. That's sleep is for the weak.
That's funny. We thought about doing so on the Code Fan channel, other than obviously the Destiny thing that we do like once a year or whatever it is. We were thinking about doing some live coding thing at some point, so that's what it would be more of. If we do it, it's not gonna be us playing games. We're not gonna do that other than the Destiny thing, but it'll be live coding stuff. So we thought about live coding like the coding game or some other stuff or app development or something. We thought about doing something on that. So I don't know yet. But you can find us on there. Just go on Twitch and it's Coder Foundry.
We're not on there a lot, mostly on YouTube, but like I think we're going to do some stuff soon. We're talking about it. So
yeah, we might do some dual stuff because we can do that too. We can push to both platforms. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, I think that's it.
All right.
Thank you for the super chat today, everybody.
Thanks a lot, super chat. Lots of tacos. So awesome.
We can go eat now.
And we can go eat now. So that's awesome. But I appreciate it. We'll be back on Thursday. Look for some new content this week from us, and we'll see you on Thursday. Good luck and keep coding, guys. See you.
Catch you guys later.